YouTubers, thanks for joining in for week 2 of Married with Fluff. This week I'm just going to try to get you caught up to speed with our infertility journey. So it started in April of 2018 is when my husband and I tried to conceive. I went off my birth control because I was graduating from grad school finally that June. So we were like, why not, finally? But we did a bunch of IUIs, and Clomid started last year August I started Clomid, and then September started our first IUI, and we had 5 failed IUIs leading into January of 2021 this year. So you're just gonna see a whole bunch of video clips of that time, and we'll put them together just to get you caught up, and here we go. So I don't ovulate, and I'm just going to go through my side of the infertility process. So ours is a lot more complex, but I'm just going to do what I'm going through for our infertility. So I'm not ovulating. We found that out, I think the beginning of the year. And we were waiting on tests for Shane's infertility and what was going on there. So then, June, I think I had an appointment with my doctor, and he talked about Clomid, like getting on treatment for someone who doesn't ovulate. So July, this month's August. So July I started my first round of Clomid. Clomid is just a medication. You start taking it your 3rd day of your cycle, and you take it for 7 days, and then you have to go in on a certain day to the doctors, and they do an ultrasound to see if there's an egg, and I had one, my first round of Clomid. So you don't always respond to the Clomid. They start you on the lowest dose, so I'm on the lowest dose of 50 milligrams, and I responded. I had an egg, and then you have to go in on day 21 of your cycle and get blood work done for them to make sure that you ovulated, and I did. So last month was a success, but then you have to do it the following month again because you have 2 ovaries and they ovulate on different months. So now it's August, and we're checking my other ovary. I just started, like I said, day 2 of my Clomid, and I have my ultrasound scheduled for the 10th of this month, and we'll see if I have an egg this time, and then I'll do the blood work again, and we'll see if I ovulated. I'm hoping I'll respond because my other ovary responded, so I feel like my probability is high that this ovary is going to respond. I mean, this is my first time going through infertility, obviously, so I don't know much about it. I feel like infertility is you learn as you go through the experience, unfortunately. So I don't know, I'm hopeful that since my other ovary responded, that this ovary will respond, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so today I got my first shipment of medication for my IUI, and I'm just gonna go through the box with you guys. So excited. Not really. That was sarcasm. I mean, I am excited that we're at this point, but I'm not super excited to inject. Oh, God. I'm already going to drop stuff. Maybe I should take this out and show you. Okay, so I got everything out of the box. So I got a Sharps container. Well, that's information stuff that apparently I'm supposed to read before using. Can't wait. That overwhelms me. I don't even want to talk about it. But all that I put it up here. It's supposed to be refrigerated, so yeah, I put it with my cream cheese. Hi, so today is, what is today? I guess I should start with that. Saturday, October 17th, 2020, where I'm at in my journey for infertility this month. I finished my Clomid, so I finished that yesterday. I took it day 3 through 7. I'm on 100 milligrams right now of the Clomid. My Avidrel, I should be getting a call because that has to be delivered because my insurance won't cover it if it's just sent to our normal pharmacy where we pick up our Clomid. So it has to go through a Walgreens specialty pharmacy and be be delivered. So I contacted them yesterday, Friday, at the end of the week, because I hadn't heard from them, and my ultrasound is scheduled for Wednesday. So if my ultrasound's good, I'm gonna need my shot Wednesday or Thursday. That's what we did last month. Last month we did the shot the day after the ultrasound. Obviously it was unsuccessful because here we are again. Anyways, I hadn't heard from them, and it's making me really nervous because if it's going to get delivered, that means I can't just go to the pharmacy and pick it up same day. So they said it was pending and that they should be calling me Monday, and there's no problem with it getting delivered by Wednesday, but to call them Monday, just, you know, for me to guarantee that I'm contacting them and not having to wait for them, which I would do anyways, because, yeah, everything has to happen at a certain time, so it makes me really anxious. I'm not too excited. I'm not putting a lot of faith into this month, because this month would be, because you ovulate, you go back and forth with your ovaries, so this month would be my month of August, which was the month I did nothing happened and my progesterone was 0.1. So my ultrasounds are always great. They're fantastic all the time. So I'm sure I'm going to go in Wednesday and he's going to be like, we're going to move forward. Your ultrasound looks fantastic. But I'm not really going to put too much faith in that. Even if I do ovulate, I feel like my progesterone is going to be pretty low. Honestly, I feel like since the first IUI didn't happen, I'm going to be one of those people that has to do IVF. Like, we have 4 tries currently because we now have 3 tries. We bought 4 vials of sperm because we're using a sperm donor as well. And so last month didn't work, so we have 3 left. And I guess my mind's just kind of on like, it's not going to happen. And then we're going to have to think about doing IVF. I'm on day 12 of my cycle. This is my 4th round of Clomid, 2nd round of 100 milligrams of Clomid, and we're going to move forward with our 2nd IUI. So obviously my first one didn't work if I'm doing a second one. But I had my ultrasound today, and I was really nervous about it because you go back and forth with your ovaries with ovulating on months, and August, which would be this month's ovary, was a flop on the 50 milligrams of Clomid, and without Ovidrel, I didn't ovulate. And I had the month prior with 50 milligrams of Clomid and no Ovidrel. So I was really nervous about this month. But it is an increased dose, and then we are pairing it with the Ovidrel. Yeah, so my left ovary has always been the dominant one, and I was in there and he was looking around and we were talking about that, how my left one seems to be the dominant one, and he goes, oh, that's interesting because like there's nothing happening in it today. And I was like, oh my god, like my heart sank, my stomach dropped. I was like, yep, then there's probably nothing going on at all, like we're not gonna be able to do anything this month. And he went over to the right, and at first he didn't see anything. He was like, yeah, it looks pretty quiet over here. And then he did find a mature follicle, and then 2 eggs. I had 2 eggs that were hanging out. I guess they were like real close together. So I'm excited. We are doing it a little different this month. Last month I took my Ovidrel, I think day 13, and then we did the insemination, I want to say day 14. And based on my basal temps, my basal body temps, I ovulated day 16. And I've been doing basal body temps since January, and I need to do them because apparently my body just doesn't do ovulation tests. So before we even knew that we had an issue, like for infertility, we were just trying, and we had gone to the doctors and said that we have been having sex unprotected for like, I don't know, over 6, 7, 8 months, and nothing has happened. And we were questioning that when I went in for my annual, and she was like, well, you can't count those 8 months because technically, she says, we weren't trying because we weren't taking ovulation tests. We were informally tracking my period. Like once in a while, Shane would like track how long it was, that cycle, but anyways, so none of that counted. So for a year then we did the ovulation tests, and I always got positives. So I just assumed I was ovulating. But then when we still didn't get pregnant, I went in and my doctor was like, well, we need to start charting your temps. And so I started doing that, and they were all over the place. And he was like, yeah, you don't ovulate. I was like, oh, okay. Well, the ovulation tests say that I do. And he's like, yeah, they're a waste of money. So I can't do ovulation tests because they're not accurate for me. So my basal temps are what I go off of, which I know are not always accurate, but that's all I got right now. So, yeah, I don't even remember where I was going with that. I just started rambling about not ovulating. Anyways, it was good. Oh, I ovulated on day 16. So based on my basal body temps last month, I ovulated day 16. And we did everything a little early. So this month he said we're gonna try to do the shot a little later, and then the next day, which will be my Sunday, today is day 12. So today is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, so day 16, I'm going to get my IUI. Because on day 16, I ovulated, but it was later in the evening that I ovulated. I could feel it. Oh, I felt it. But yeah, that's where we're at. I thought I'd do an update video. I did my trigger shot at noon on Saturday. And yesterday, Sunday, around like 9:40 a.m., I had my IUI. It was scheduled for 9, but because of the mix up with the sperm, like it had to thaw before we could do it. So our doctor was really great about it. But it went not as planned, but in the end it happened as planned. So I'm feeling a lot better. 25, cycle day 25. I didn't have high hopes for this cycle. Currently, after this morning's temp, I don't have high hopes. I don't think I'm pregnant. But I know like a lot of things can make your temps fluctuate and they're not super accurate. But excuse me. I do know that I ovulated. So, I mean, that's, even if I'm not pregnant, that's a huge step. I didn't think anything was going to happen this cycle. My progesterone is actually higher this cycle than last cycle. It was 8.1 this cycle. Last cycle was 7.7. Yeah. So that's exciting because I didn't think I'd even ovulate. I had my mid-cycle ultrasound today for my third IUI cycle and 5th month on Clomid. It went really well. I had one egg, which is unusual. The last 2 cycles that I went for my ultrasound on the 100 milligrams of Clomid, I had 2 eggies. But that's okay. He said he'd rather see 1 nice, really healthy egg than 2, which I think my other 2 were healthy. I don't know. He's just making me feel better. But I mean, I'm good with 1 egg too. That's all you need, 1 egg. My follicles were good, I guess. I don't know how many I had. He usually doesn't tell me. Like last cycle he did, but other than that, I don't know. He said it looked good though. And he said my uterine lining looked really nice too, because I guess if the longer on Clomid, sometimes for some folks that can start thinning the lining, and that's not good because that's where the egg needs to implant. But he said mine looked really good. So we're moving forward. Tomorrow I'll take my Ovidrol at 10 p.m. And then he also prescribed me a medication. He told me what it was, but I never heard of it before. It's for ulcers. He said he wants me to take that Saturday before I go to bed because it softens your cervix, and my cervix has not cooperated for my last 2 IUIs. They had to clamp it, which I don't know if you've ever had your cervix clamped. For the women watching, it's not pleasant. So he said with that medication, it should soften my cervix, and then the IUI should not be as painful as it has been. And then my IUI is going to be Sunday morning again at 9 a.m. So I don't know, fingers crossed. We'll see how this goes. Again, I'm always hopeful. I mean, that's just how I am. There's always a piece of me that's hopeful, and there's another part of me that's just kind of like matter of fact at this point. Like, oh, this is my 3rd attempt at an IUI, my 5th cycle on Clomid at 100 milligrams. This is my ovary that's always ovulated. It's always been really good, and I guess, I don't know if that's why I'm more frustrated, but I took my Avadryl shot. That is your trigger shot. It's supposed to make you ovulate. I took it Friday at 10 p.m. Did my IUI Sunday, yesterday at 9 a.m. And I have yet to see my temps rise at all. Yeah, they're really low. And they're low compared to my other charting too. Like I thought I was going to ovulate because the day after my trigger shot, my temp was the lowest at 96.7. And that is common for me. After my trigger shot, I have the lowest because then you're getting ready to release your eggs. And so then the next day I usually see an increase, or like last month I saw a steady increase. So yesterday I did see an increase. It went up to 97.3. So I was like, okay, like that's a pretty decent jump. Like I'm gonna ovulate. I'm ovulating. And then today I woke up and it went back down to 97. So, and all my other charts, if I was ovulating, I went up. My cover line was usually 98. So I'm really disappointed. I remember my doctor, even for this IUI yesterday when we went in, he was like, you're showing consistency. That's really good. He's like, we're getting somewhere. We're getting closer. And surprise, I'm not ovulating this month now. So just kidding. We're not being consistent. I'm just really frustrated. Okay, so you just saw like our IUI journey. So I'll get you up to speed since then. So March of this year, 2021, we met with an agency to get set up for IVF. Lo and behold, I am plus size. So that ties into my weight loss journey, which we might do we are going to do at some point. Maybe we'll do it next week. Not sure. Anyways, that's where we're at right now. We can't move on in our IVF journey until I lose that weight. And we'll get you caught up to speed with that. But if you like this week's video and you like Married with Fluff, please subscribe. We'd love to have you tag along in our journey. And if you have any questions or comments, please put them down below. Again, we'd love to hear from you and actually know that people are enjoying the video or getting something out of it. So hopefully we will see you next week. Bye.